Whoa, what do we got here? We got some lights. I'm still working on the echo, but hey, it's a work in progress. So, something happened the other day, and it really made me sit back and think about everything that's been happening. And that was the second year mark since I came to Finland. It's crazy to think that I've been living here for 2 years. A little bit over 2 years now. But geez, when I first came here in November 2018, it was dark. Was it dark? Yeah. I think it was a lot. It's a lot more depressing. It was a lot more depressing than what it is now. And I was so consumed with the thought that, you know, this was a new chapter of my life, and I was coming to another country with the woman of my dreams, and I was going to see things from her perspective and meet her family. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't feel a bit homesick. I've never been the person to be completely homesick, but I gotta tell you, those November and December months in Finland, they really test you. Everybody tells you the best part about Finland is the summer. Just quickly, for myself, coming from Australia, where in Queensland, it's summer almost all year round, and with the exception of the winter, I mean, you wear a jumper for the first few hours of the morning, and then you take it off because it's hot again. I really like the winter. Yeah, in 2018, 2019 winter, Finland, you really put it on for me. It was snowing so much. We were living in an apartment in Helsinki city center, and I remember it snowed so much, and that was amazing for me. And then after a few months, I started to think, okay, if I'm gonna be in this country for a longer period of time than the 12-month working visa that I came here on, I need to start to lay the groundwork, you know, get a job, and I guess become more of a contributing member. Now, after a few months of not having a job, and basically when we came here straight away, my partner started working again. I mean, let's face it, an apartment in the city center it's expensive. I don't remember the exact amount we were paying, but it was somewhere around 1,750 euros a month. Don't get me wrong, it was an awesome apartment, amazing location, but it was very expensive. Yeah, it was a lot of money spent there. Now, I remember the biggest struggle that I had when I first came here was not really understanding what it was that I needed to do. And I'm gonna touch on this in future videos, because I believe that it's something that foreigners, whether you come into Finland 6, 12 months working holiday visa, or if you're looking to extend your visa, going from a working holiday visa to a relationship visa, I want to do videos on everything like that. Let's ID card, how to get your license, etc. Because the biggest thing for me as a non-Finnish speaker was information on how to get those things. Now, I was extremely grateful because the reason I came to this country was to be with a Finnish girl, right? So if I didn't have her to help me translate and help me understand what it was that I needed to do, I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have left. I'm still finding this out today, and the biggest thing with this country is one person will tell you one thing, another person will tell you another thing. And I've never experienced it anywhere else other than when I was in the army back in Australia. But I gotta tell you, it's very it's extremely frustrating. But yeah, like I said, I want to touch on those videos, and I want to give you out content that people can come to my channel and they will understand exactly how to apply for those things, the people to call, where to contact, etc. But yeah, like I said, I'll touch on that later. But yeah, part of the review, that experience in itself was difficult, and it goes hand in hand with finding a job. When I first came here, it's back in my own country, you know, you can look at websites, you have an idea of where to go to find work. As a foreigner, I didn't really have much of an idea. Yeah, there was 2 websites I believe that I looked at, the TE office job search website, and another one I think was called Monster. Now, I was told from the get-go, as a person who didn't speak Finnish, and I just left a career, and coming to Finland, I hadn't really sat down and decided what career I wanted to follow, so studying wasn't really an option. And at that point, we didn't know if we were going to be here longer than 12 months. So I didn't speak Finnish. I didn't want to study because I didn't feel like paying the tuition fees, because I wasn't an EU citizen and my visa and all that, but that's other discussion. But the biggest thing was finding a job. Now, my qualifications that I had from Australia never transferred over here, and that was fine. I can understand that to some extent. I went from a well-paying job and a career to my first job opportunity was making burgers at McDonald's. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. It was a job and I did it. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't want to be successful here. And it was, I guess, after 2 or 3 days, that's when I started to realize that if we're gonna be here longer than 12 months, I really need to figure out what I want to do. Brought things back into perspective for me, and I decided to leave McDonald's. And after that, I'm to this day extremely grateful. The only real source of contact for English speakers at the time when I came to Finland was Australians in Finland Facebook group, and I think there was another one, Aussies in Finland, but yeah, they were the main 2. I was contacted by another fellow Australian on that webpage, and he put me in contact with the person that I'm working for today. So I will always be grateful to him. And yeah, I'm completely honest. If I never found this avenue of work, things would be very different. Let's just say that. Finland is an extremely expensive country. Yeah, things are expensive here, and you need, I guess I was used to having great money back in Australia, but here you need to have a good source of income if you want to live a you need to have a good source of income if you want to live a above average life, if that makes sense. Yeah, above average. if you want to be able to do things. Now, now for the first 12 months, I guess, it was basically work. That's well, I don't know if you guys can hear this noise, but I'll show you at the end of the video what's making all this noise. Yeah, so work. That's really all I was doing in the first year. And it was at that point where we decided, okay, we're gonna stay here for a long time. How can we do that? Now, we had a couple of options. It was an option to return back to Australia, but I didn't want to. I wanted to stay here. Now, one of the best options that we decided was to get married. Now, this process was very simple. We went down to the immigration office, Maestrati, yeah, and we stood up with our close relatives, Finnish close relatives, and yeah, we got married and we signed the paperwork. And then after that, I was then granted a 4-year unrestricted access visa, and that was good. I mean, that just really just took the stress off what was going to happen. I mean, with my job, I'm an entrepreneur, so I wasn't really in the position to be sponsored by a workplace to be able to stay in the country and continue working. And I didn't really know what I wanted to study, so I couldn't apply for a study visa. So yeah, marriage just seemed like our best option. I mean, let's face it, I wouldn't have come literally to the other side of the world for a girl if I didn't think that things were going to be serious. So we didn't waste any time, and yeah, we got married. Now in my mind, it wasn't an actual wedding. I like to think of it, well, we both like to think of it as we're engaged, but officially we're married in paper. But yeah, we plan to have an actual wedding ceremony, hopefully next year. But the way things are looking, it doesn't seem to be going that way. But that's fine. When we know more, we'll postpone it. But yeah, so we got married, and then things just started to get a lot better. That's when I realized that the option to study is there. Previous to that, if I wanted to study, I was going to have to pay tuition fees. It's not something that I was willing to do, and it's not an expense that I wanted to spend. So studying wasn't really an option, but you know, it's good to know that I do have that option now. So yeah. Now after we moved, we're still in Helsinki. I guess like this is the border of Helsinki. We're kind of like here, and like the city center's over here. So hey guys, how's it going? This is, I'm not going to do too many of these videos, but this is going to be a long video. So I've decided best for the viewers, and best for my sanity, that it gets cut into 2 parts. So hope you enjoyed part 1, and I will be bringing out part 2. Cheers.